Do the events of your past run through your mind like an old cassette player? Past thoughts can seem like a steel chain sometimes, holding us back and not letting us move forward. But the first thing to notice is that these very past thoughts don't exist anywhere except in your own head. They're your own doing. And this video will show you that you are not the past, and it doesn't have to dictate you. Now, the past may seem like an unvanquishable foe, but the truth is, it's just a trick of our own brain. More accurately said, it's a habit of our brains. The past is just a habit. And for this very reason, it's also something we can break. We have the tendency to replay events of the past in thought grooves, the scientific term for this being a neural pathway. Particularly traumatic events can be played back again and again, each time keeping the neural pathway alive. The question is, why does this happen? And the short answer is, it's just a habit of our brain. So you can see that it's not your past that you have to overcome in itself, it's just your mind and emotional patterns you have to overcome. Our friend here is sitting in his apartment. He can hear the rain outside, he can see the light of the lamp as well as all the details in his room. Thoughts about his past are simply not necessary in this moment. They're useless to him. They don't tell him anything he needs to know, and he can't act on them. In fact, they're nothing more than just entertainment. By simply not thinking about the past, by resisting the temptation to think about it, we start to unravel the past. And as we become more present, the neural pathways actually start to fade and die. So it may feel a bit strange at first, but the way to get over the past is not to analyze or dissect it, it's just to simply be present with the past. This of course means not thinking about the past, but just allowing the past into the present. Thinking about the past actually keeps it where it is. So why is this so hard to do? Well, the past is actually a living emotional monster. It does not like the present moment one bit, simply because it can't survive there, which is why it constantly wants to keep us distracted. The more present we are with it, though, the weaker it gets. As the past is a habit, we have to break habits in order to break the past, and the body's actually always trying to throw the past out. But to do that, it needs our help, it needs the right conditions. So the first thing to do while the body is getting rid of the past is to not create any more past, not to make the past any stronger, which would work against the body's natural efforts. Breaking all of these habits as much as we can will create the environment in which the past can be broken. And this means vicious cycles have to stop. For example, if we escape from the past habitually by spending too much time in technology, this has to be broken too. So we're bringing an end to the addictive behaviors as mentioned in Science of Yoga 3. But for the deeper traumatic parts of our past, we have to do something else. In yogic texts, deep past problems are known as deep armor. This was mentioned in a previous video. We have to create a biochemical environment in which armor can be let go of. And this means being very careful about what we put into the system. Anything inflammatory will simply impede the process and slow it down. In some cases, it can halt the process as long as the inflammation continues. With the correct environment, an energy that runs through the body, called prana or life force, will simply take care of all the past toxins. This is one way of rooting out the past. If we were to create an unfavorable environment within the body, the past can simply stay hidden. So the idea with this is to create an environment in which there are no hiding places. So while it's often about facing and letting go of the past, we also cannot ignore the physical environment we're creating in the body. As we start to break the habit of thinking of the past, we'll also simultaneously break the future thinking habit, because the future in our heads is just a modified version of the past. Both are unnecessary and illusory as each other. Both are in fact completely dispensable. So as we do all of this, the neural pathways of our brain start to change. The past is not seen as much of a problem. The great monster is not as intractable as it seemed. This is how we rise above the past.